Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Yet another draw. We only had 6 wins in the Premier League season. We're still in 10th position, lads. And is Alexander Lacazette time at Arsenal coming to end? Let's find out. We are seriously the king of draws now. How many more draws are we going to have? Arsenal are the only team who could be undefeated in 2020 and still have more draws than wins. Yo, what is on the guys, man, it's Bass, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here back with a brand new video and today there's going to be 5 things that we learned from Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. And tell you what now, it was a 0-0 game, which to be honest, the game itself was pretty boring, but there are a lot of things as always to talk about, as there always are with Arsenal. And today we will discuss them. Quickly though, lads, before we get into the video itself, make sure to go down there, smash a like on it. As always, if you man can smash 100 likes, your boy would appreciate it. Also subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're under 10,000 subscribers and we are getting there slowly but surely. So if you can subscribe to the channel, your boy would appreciate it as well. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments on the video, on the things I say, and 5 things or things that you learned from the game itself as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And without any further ado, lads, let's get into this. And here are 5 things that we learned from Burnley 0, Arsenal 0, FC draw back in full effect. The first thing is that Nicolas Pepe's position could be under threat. Now, lads, what can I say? When I saw the start lineup and I saw no Pepe, I was like, yo, Mikel, well done to you. Because for me recently, Nicolas Pepe has picked up form. He's looked better than he has normally. He looks like he's adapting or slowly adapting to the Premier League and England in general. And to see him drop today was like, bruv, come on, Mikel. Lacazette's not been in form. Martinelli has been in form. So who are you going to drop? Pepe? Seriously? Arteta may not actually rate Nicolas Pepe. Of course, for me, he actually would have dropped Martinelli instead because he's a younger player. If you drop Martinelli 18-year-old, it's not going to matter as much if you drop Nicolas Pepe, a £72 million signing. And if you're signed for such a high fee and a high amount, I expect you to be starting week in, week out. How many clubs break their transfer record and the player they sign does not play for the week in, week out? Because Nicolas Pepe right now, I'm not quite sure if he's a first-team starter for Arsenal. Do I want him to be a first-team starter? Of course I do. But at the same time, does Mikel Arteta see Nicolas Pepe as a first-team starter for Arsenal? I don't think so. I actually don't think Arteta trusts Nicolas Pepe in terms of tracking back. But at the same time also, you could say maybe Arteta dropped Pepe today because we're versing Burnley. And Burnley are one of those teams, and I hate to say it, but they are FC Brexit. How many times have we seen Burnley, you know, make rough slide tackles and injure players and have them out for a long while? And if you look at Nicolas Pepe as a player, he's a player who does a lot of skills, a lot of dribbles, and exposes himself to a lot of slide tackles. So maybe Arteta was in his head going, Nicolas, you know what, we're not going to start you today because I feel like these players could break your legs. And if that's the case, then let's just say it makes sense. But regardless of it, lads, for me, a £72 million player who's our record signing should be a starter week in, week out, especially with Pepe, what he offers us. What Pepe offers us is a player who can drag players towards him. He has players to commit to him. And when he gets the ball, he has the ability to take at least 3 or 4 players out of the game. And also, lads, he didn't just not start. He never even came on the bench. So for me, lads, I really do believe that Nicolas Pepe may not be first choice for Mikel Arteta. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to the second thing that we learned, and that is that Gabriel Martinelli is not a right winger. So obviously with Nicolas Pepe not starting, the player that took his position in the right hand side was Gabriel Martinelli. Now this man might be Pele's godson. He might be the heir to R9, but one thing for sure he's not is a right winger. He looks so uncomfortable when dribbling. He doesn't know what to do with the ball. He's dribbling into spaces and areas that he's not normally used to. And when he gets that ball, he looks pretty clueless, to be honest. Now that's not me having to go at Martinelli as a player, but that's me more having to go at Arteta for selecting Martinelli in a position that he does not look comfortable in. If you're going to play him on the wing, it should be at left wing where he looks far more natural. When he gets the ball, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Whereas by playing him on the right hand side, he just does not look anywhere near as comfortable as he does when he's playing on the left hand side. So of course for our front 3 today of Martinelli on the right, Aubameyang on the left and Lacazette on the middle, for me it just looked, you know, it just didn't work for me. It almost looked like we were shoehorning them all in together to hope they work. And obviously, lads, as you can see from the score, 0-0, it did not work. And I just feel like in the future, we should not be playing Gabriel Martinelli as a right winger. I mean, look at Cristiano Ronaldo. Is he a left winger or right winger? A left winger. So play Martinelli a left winger as well, Mikel. On to the third thing we learned, and that is Scott Mustafi is slowly picking up form. Now, Mustafi, I've said this time and time again, in terms of natural defender, he's not that bad. But in terms of Mustafi, for me, the one thing that always holds him back is his errors. And makes his errors in the worst possible time, in the worst possible position. And it's because of those errors that Arsenal fans simply cannot trust Mustafi. But I have to get credit where credit's due, because since coming into the Arsenal first team and becoming regular again, he looks pretty solid. Solid in terms of defensively, the tackles, the blocks, the interceptions. He knows what he's doing, but also in terms of going forwards and passing out of work, he looks like a very comfortable player on the ball. When he picks up that ball, one of his first intentions is to pass that ball forwards. He's not looking to go sideways or ball backwards. He's always looking to play a forward pass, and that's what I rate about Mustafi. And I just want to big up Mustafi because of course he's got his doubters, and I'm one of his doubters. But since coming into the first team again, he's showing us glimpses of what he's capable of doing. He is a good defender. When it comes to tackles, when it comes to interception, when it comes to making blocks, this game was the perfect game for him. But again with Mustafi, I'm going to say it one more time, we cannot go over the top and say, oh, Virgil van Dijk, come out, despite me actually saying that a few days ago on Twitter. Because at the end of the day with Mustafi, I think we all know what's going to happen. We're going to get to a big game when Arsenal need to win, and Mustafi may just make a mistake. But until that happens, for now, Mustafi, you do look like a very good centre back, and fair play to you, lad. I've never been your biggest fan, but right now, Mustafi, I am proud to say that you're proving me wrong. Comment below your thoughts on Shkodran Mustafi. Do you think he's a first teamer for Arsenal? On to the fourth thing we learned, and that is Mesut Ozil is once again getting scapegoated. Oh, Babs, why do you love Ozil so much? He's finished, he's finished, he's finished. He may just be finished, but in terms of today's game, I don't want to see fans scapegoat Mesut Ozil for today's performance. Because in terms of today's performance, it was pretty simple. We had the chances to win the game. We had a lot more chances than Burnley, and if we were taking those chances, fans would not have overreacted as they have. And that's one thing Arsenal fans always do, they always overreact. If they win a game, they're the best team in the world. If they lose a game or draw a game, we're the worst team in the world. Now, of course, right now, sitting in 10th place, it's not the best. But in terms of Mesut Ozil himself, of course, as a fan of his as well, I will admit, his time at Arsenal is coming to an end, and he does not look like the player he was 3 or 4 years ago. But at the same time, what I don't want to see is every time Arsenal don't win a game, you go blame Mesut Ozil. Because today, and we're going to get onto them, our strikers were not good enough. We're not clinical enough, and it's probably their fault we didn't win the game. So I want to stop this scapegoat mentality of every time Arsenal draw a game or lose a game, you blame the same single players. If it's their fault, it's their fault. If Ozil made a sitter, it was Mesut Ozil's fault. But what it seems to me, lads, is every time Arsenal play poor, it's always Mesut Ozil's fault. So another thing that we learned today was that some Arsenal fans, not all Arsenal fans, but some Arsenal fans are still going for that scapegoat mentality, and in particular, scapegoating Mesut Ozil. His time at Arsenal, I admit, is done. It's finished. He's not the same player he was. But that does not mean every time Arsenal don't get the result they want, let's all blame Mesut Ozil, why don't we? Moving on to the fifth and final thing we learned, and that is Arsenal fans turn on Lacazette. Now this is something I do not want to see, and I don't like to see. When fans turn on a player, we've done it in the past with Xhaka, we've done it with Ozil, we've done it with Mustafi, with Bellerin. For me, lads, every time a player is playing at your club, you back him until he's at your club. No matter how bad that player is and how much you don't like him as a player, he's still an Arsenal player. If he scores a goal, I'm sure every fan celebrates it. Now, there's nothing wrong with having opinions on Lacazette. If you think he's good enough for Arsenal, you can have that opinion. And if you don't think he's good enough for Arsenal, you can also have that opinion. But I don't like to see when fans turn negative on players and they abuse them and they call them words and all that stuff, because it just isn't good. Now, I'm not going to go out and say I'm not guilty of doing that, because I've done that in the past with like Mustafi and Xhaka, and I'll admit right now that I was wrong in doing that. In terms of Lacazette, at the start of the season, if you ask a lot of fans loved him. But it seems to me with Lacazette this season, fans are now starting to turn on him. Now, if you look into Lacazette as a player, is his time at Arsenal over? I'm not quite sure. And the fact that he's now gone 365 days without scoring a single Premier League away goal, that is not a good stat. In fact, someone even tweeted that Phil Jones has scored more away goals than Alexander Lacazette. Again, these are not great stats. But at the same time with Lacazette, we all know he's a player that, in fact, he won a player of the season last year. He is a good player, he's not a bad player. Right now, what's clear to me with Lacazette, he's a player lacking in confidence. But now with Lacazette's confidence being so low, every time he gets a chance, he'll take the extra touch. And that extra touch means a player can get in and block the shot, and that goal does not happen. And I'm not going to go out and say that I'm backing Lacazette to the death and I think he's a man for Arsenal. In fact, I personally think maybe it is time for him to move on as well. But for me, the way Arsenal fans always overreact to players, I just don't want to see that. If a player has a bad game, he has a bad game. But when fans turn on players after a few games, I just never like it. I'm looking at Matteo Guendouzi right now. At the start of the season, the man was on fire. Everyone loved him. Guendouzi this, Guendouzi that. He's this and that. He has a couple bad games, and also fans start going, well, is he good enough for the club? Overreaction FC. Stop overreacting. In terms of Guendouzi himself, the man's 20 years old. He's a youngster. This is the age where players are inconsistent, they make mistakes, and this is when they should be given time to make mistakes. So what I'm trying to say, lads, is I want to stop seeing the overreaction from Arsenal fans. Lacazette's time at Arsenal may be coming to an end, but stop abusing him, stop making fun out of him, and back the player until he gets his confidence back, and back him until he's an Arsenal player. If he's not an Arsenal player, you can say whatever you want about him, but he's playing for Arsenal, so let's back him and let's support him. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Lacazette's time at Arsenal coming to an end? With that being said, guys, we're going to end the video right there. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and smash a like on it. As always, if you boys could smash 100 likes, your boy would appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and we're getting there slowly but surely. And also, let me know your thoughts in the comments on the video, on Lacazette, and anything else you want to talk about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, comment below other videos you'd like to see. Of course, now the transfer window is done and dusted, I've got a lot of content now. So if you make a comment below some videos that you'd like to see, of course, I will try and make those. And with that being said, guys, let's end the video right there. Burnley 0, Arsenal 0. Arsenal remain undefeated in 2020, but we're still nowhere near where we need to be. Only 6 Premier League wins this season. It's not good enough. But you know what, lads? It's a working progression. It's on a trusted process, and hopefully the process pays off. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next time in a bit.